Very good evening, everyone. Welcome back to HSE Mentor. Every day, thousands of safety officers fill out risk assessment form. They write hazards, they write risk, they recommend control measures. But here is something surprising. If I ask 10 safety officers this simple question, what is the hazard and what is the risk? Many of them will either hesitate or give the wrong answer. And this does not just happen with freshers. I have seen experienced people write things like hazard fall from height or hazard hand injury. Both are wrong because a fall is not the hazard and injury is not the hazard. These are the consequences. The actual hazard is something completely different. And if you don't understand this difference, your risk assessment, GSA, method statement, and even your interview answers can become technically incorrect. So today I'm not going to give you an textbook definitions. I'm going to teach you how professional HSE engineers identify hazards during site inspections. By the end of this video, you will never confuse hazards and risk again. What is hazards? Before we define hazard, let's think like an HSE professional. Whenever you walk onto a construction site, you should never ask what accident can happen. Instead, ask what is present here that has the potential to cause harm. That single question changes your entire approach towards safety. Because hazards exist before accident happen. You can say a hazard is any source, situation, activity, equipment, substance, or condition that has the inherent potential to cause injury, ill health, damage to property, damage to the environment, or a combination of these. Notice one important word, inherent, meaning the dangerous property already exists. Whether someone gets hurt, whether someone gets injured or not, whether someone is exposed or not, whether work has started or not, the hazard already exists. Let's understand with some examples. Imagine you walk onto a construction site early in the morning. No workers have started their job yet, but you noticed an unguarded floor opening on the third floor. Has anyone fallen into it? No. Has any accidents occurred? No. But is it still a hazard? Absolutely right. Why? Because that unguarded opening already has the inherent potential to cause a fall if someone is exposed to it. That's why we call it a hazard. It exists even before an accident happens. Now let's go to a construction site. Imagine reinforcement work is going on. Steel rebars are laying everywhere. Some rebars have exposed sharp end. Ask yourself, what is the hazard? Many people immediately answer, workers may get injured. No, this is the consequences. The actual hazard is sharp protruding steel reinforcement bars. Why? Because they possess the ability to puncture or impale a worker. That dangerous characteristics makes them a hazard. Another example, a mobile crane is lifting a 15-ton concrete beam. What is hazard in this? Is the hazard the falling load? No. The actual hazard are suspended load, crane lifting operation, failure of lifting accessories, swing radius of the crane. These hazards have the potential to cause harm. Now let's understand what is risk. Risk is often misunderstood because people think it means danger. No, this is completely incorrect. So, what exactly is risk? Risk is the combination of two things. First, the likelihood that a hazard will cause harm. Second, the severity of that harm if it does occur. In simple words, risk tells us how likely an accident is to happen and how serious its consequences could be. This is why risk has two components. First one is likelihood and second one is severity. Both together determine the level of risk. That's exactly why companies use risk matrix. because a hazard alone does not tell you how dangerous the work is. Let's understand this with the lifting operations. The hazards remain the same, a suspended load. But now imagine two situations. Situation 1, the area has been barricaded. Only trained riggers are inside. Tag lines are used. Wind speed is acceptable. The crane has valid certifications. The lifting plans has been approved. The likelihood of the load striking someone becomes very low. So now risk is low. Now let's take another situation. There is no barricades, workers walking underneath the load, no banksman, no lifting supervisor, a strong wind, damage sling, same hazard but completely different risk. Why? Because likelihood has increased dramatically. This is one of the biggest lessons every safety officer must understand. Hazards usually remain the same, risk changes according to workplace condition and control measures. That is why we perform risk assessment, not hazard assessment. Why risk assessment is not hazard elimination? Many beginners believe that after implementing control measures, the hazard disappears. That is technically incorrect. Let's clear it out. Let's take walking at height. Walking at height itself a hazard because gravity always exists. Now we install proper scaffold, double guardrails, toe board, full body harness, horizontal lifeline, 100% tie off, scaffold inspection tag, competent supervision. Have we eliminated gravity? No. Have we eliminated walking at height? No. The hazard still exists. What we have done is reduce the probability and severity of a fall. In other words, we have reduced the risk. This is why the hierarchy of control is so important. The first preference is to eliminate the hazard completely, but if elimination is not possible, we reduce the risk through engineering controls, administrative controls, and PPEs. This is a concept many interviewers expect candidates to understand. Let's take an example of site inspections. Imagine you are conducting a site inspection. You observed damaged electrical extension cable running through water. Now think like an HSE engineer. Don't write hazard electrocution. It's wrong. Instead write hazard damaged electrical cable in contact with water, risk electric shock, electrocution, fire, equipment damage. Now what control measure will be? Immediately isolate the power supply, replace damaged cable, use waterproof connectors, elevate cables away from water, inspect before use, and use RCCB or ELCB protections. Now your observation is technically correct. Before we end this video, I want you to remember one important thing. As an HSE professional, the quality of your risk assessment depends on the quality of your hazard identification. If you identify the wrong hazard, you will assess the wrong risk. If you assess the wrong risk, you will implement the wrong control measures. And when the control measures are ineffective, the chances of an incident increases. That's why every effective risk assessment begins with one simple question: what is the actual hazard? Always remember, hazard does not cause accident on their own. Accidents happen when hazards are not identified, risks are not properly assessed, and suitable control measures are not implemented. That is the true responsibility of an HSE professional, not just investigate accidents after they happen, but to identify hazards, assess risk, and prevent incidents before anyone gets hurt. Now I have one quick challenge for you. Head to the comment and answer this question. Which one is the hazard, electricity or electric shock? If you can, explain why. I will personally read your answers and let you know whether you are thinking like a professional HSE officer. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like and share it with your colleagues, and subscribe to HSE Mentor for more practical HSE knowledge that you can apply directly on site. Until the next video, keep learning, keep growing, keep preparing. Thanks for watching.